What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Dead on Dave, and we are here for your Camp WWE review for episode number 5. Now, if you've been watching all my reviews, you know basically I open up the show with this exact same sentence. This was the best episode so far. And that's because, quite seriously, this is no hyperbole, bullshit, whatever. Every episode has gotten better. There has not been a regression. I feel every episode has gotten better. From production to jokes to writing to everything, even animation, development of characters, all kinds of things. We've seen just an improvement every single episode. And this one was great, man. This one was so good. Bray Wyatt getting the main focus here, which was great. Bray Wyatt had the absolute best true-to-life representation of who Bray is in the WWE. It was so good. The racist poetry, there's so much to talk about there. Bray Wyatt killed it. He killed it. It was so funny. The story revolved around Vince McMahon being pranked relentlessly by Stone Cold Steve Austin. Eventually, Vince would quit and go find a new life, leaving Stephanie to run the camp. Stephanie defeats Stone Cold by simply ignoring him. Then Stone Cold wants Vince back. A very simple storyline, but done with ridiculous little tweaks and twists and just accents. It was great. It was just awesome episode. Really funny. The highs were at an absolute high. I feel like this week they had a really good balance between the super profane that we've seen, like in episode 2, episode 3, there was a lot of profanity, and episode 4, which had no profanity. Episode 5 had a good amount of profanity, but it didn't seem like it was gratuitous. And I like that a show knows when to not go to gratuity. And there's nothing wrong with gratuity in some sense, but I think with profanity in a kid's show, not a kid's show, a cartoon show, an adult aimed animated comedy, you need to know the line between gratuity and non, and they walk it perfectly. The thing I loved about this episode, it seemed to be packed with the most references so far. These are the ones that I caught. Now I want you guys to let me know if you caught any that I did not. Right off the bat, the Fandango alarm, Vince doing the Fandango dance at the beginning. But right next to Vince in that same scene in the bed was a Big Boss Man pillow, a wrestling buddy to be exact. That was awesome. How about Cena as the Paperboy? Cena as the Paperboy. I like that reference. I think that's cool. I think it's very funny. Hi, buddy. Just talking to a house. Very good. The beer bath tribute. The beer bath tribute was awesome. They even highlighted that with Vince McMahon doing the swim, the epic swim that he does in that scene, that program with Stone Cold Steve Austin, the real life one. They copied it perfectly. It was wonderful here. WWE Ice Cream. We got WWE Ice Cream. I was wondering when they were going to reference it in there because it's camp, it's kids, they're going to eat ice cream. Why not WWE Ice Cream? That's a really nice touch. Bray Wyatt, we talked about, but just his epic creepiness. Everything about the childlike version of Bray Wyatt was a nod to who Bray Wyatt is in the real world, and it was just great, or in the wrestling world, I should say. It was really, really well done. Vince, when he quit, when he gave his speech, when he was leaving, he said he needs to go find his smile, which is an obvious reference to the Shawn Michaels "Lost My Smile" speech, which is great. On the license plate that Vince drove off in on that limo, it said Camper Zero, which is a reference to episode 1. Awesome. And then finally, the last one I saw was Lex Luger. They didn't even try to hide it. Lex Luger driving the Lex Express. How good was that? So much about this episode I really enjoyed. I thought it was very well done. The voice acting gets better and better every week, it seems like. And this was no different with the inclusion of Bray Wyatt. They did such a good job with Mr. Wyatt on this one. I mean, really, really good stuff. Just crisp, clear, and Brian Thompson just does a fantastic job as the voice of Bray Wyatt. I think that his job as Bray Wyatt is my favorite single job of anybody yet on Camp WWE. And that's no shade at the rest of the cast who always do a great job. But this was Bray Wyatt's first foray into, I probably used the word wrong, his first waltz, his first dance, his first appearance. And it needed to be something poignant and you had to really know that you were going to remember it forever. Brian Thompson did a fantastic job of just bringing that out. He didn't have to sound like Bray Wyatt. He just sounded like a child version of what he would be like. And it was very well done, using all the mannerisms. The crab walk, all of it was just so well done. And obviously Brian Thompson didn't crab walk, but you know what I mean. Just everything about it was well done, and the voice was perfect for it. So great job by everybody. This was just another home run, absolute home run in my opinion. You can't mess with it. You know, it's one of those things. You can't mess with how good this show is going right now, and how well things are working out. You know, everything just rolls off, man. I want to also credit Ali Feinberg for another great job as Stone Cold Steve Austin. She does a lot of the voices. She does Stone Cold Steve Austin, Stephanie McMahon, Nikki Bella. She does just a great job. Stone Cold Steve Austin was perfect in this one. I love that. As always, Ashley Borson does a great job. Borneson. I'm sure I mispronounce everybody's name on this cast, and I am apologizing for that. But still, everybody just absolutely crushes it yet again. You can't really be upset at anything that we saw this week. There's nothing that I can point to and go that did not work. So, yes, I'm a Mark for Camp WWE. Eat it, Smarks. I don't give a shit. All right, thank you guys very much for joining us for another Camp WWE review right here on Dead on Dave Productions. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And as always, if you don't have talent, have talented friends. We'll see you next time. Peace. Keep it copious.